I'm just saying. You got an A in that. You should know. And congratulations on all of us working poor, paying off your college loans. Where that's apparently that's how it worked.
Yeah. It's paid off my lesbian dance theory. Hey, Hal Sparks. Hey, how dumb are Donald Trump's lawyers? That was Alina Habba. Bless me.
Alina Habba. Hamana.
She's an Abbottabad-based attorney, I think. She just admit that, yes, we did have the classified stuff, and also there's a lot of people that went in and out of there, but it was totally secure otherwise.
You're right. It had guests all the time, and it was all boxed up very nicely, and in small display cases. It was not spread out on the floor. It was stuffed in between filed pictures of Time magazine covers that he was going to put up in his office, but he hasn't gotten around to doing. And don't take the fact that he had top secret files stuffed in between personal effects as a way of hiding them as they left the building as any sign of any criminality on his part. Also, does she think none of us binged watched true crime all during COVID?
Yes.
Forgot that's do you see the little T square? Do you see the little triangle that says 2A on it? That's evidence.
Yes.
That's what he found. That's where he found it. He spreads it out. He takes a picture of it. Then he boxes it up and takes it from that site.
As they do in every crime scene. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. You also you made a number of legal points on Twitter. Trump and his team never asserted privilege on any of the previous classified documents. What a hole you were responding to.
I went through it early.
And now there's nothing also about declassification. There's nothing in his latest filing about Yeah.
Oh, and the magic wand wave of declassification that Kash Patel is asserting.
Right.
I personally believe it wasn't Christina Bobb that signed the lying document in June. That was Kash Patel because it says the person was the custodian. He was bragging about being made the custodian. And basically it's just another example of Trump finding the dumbest person in the nearest vicinity, like within 8 people of him, and going, congratulations, you're in charge of the next bear trap to shut. And that's all he does.
You're in charge of the next rake in the rake factory.
Like if Trump was there when that was signed and Christina Bobb was leaning over to sign it, he'd go, let Kash sign it. Like I guarantee it.
You even had to shoot down Jonathan Hurley on Twitter, who said, notably, this filing includes this picture, which is being widely distributed. It can, however, leave an obviously misleading impression that secret documents were strewn over the floor when this appears to be the work of the FBI agents. And you said, hi, dummy. The picture is standard protocol when evidence is found separated from other items and documented. Its purpose is to show where and when they were found. Appears to be the work. Shows the work, moron.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. They have to show where they found things. Yeah, have you ever seen a picture of a murder weapon? It's on the carpet wherever if they found it in a box, they set it down. They put a little T square next to it and a thing, and they take a picture of it. If it was found out in the open, they just take the picture. If it wasn't, they take a picture of it either in the bag or like it's silly.
Well,
we all know this,
right? It's like they took pictures of the bricks of cocaine, Don Jr. and
exactly,
and they're like, that's not where they were. They were in my
yeah, right. It's like, why are you taking a picture of her at the hospital? She was in my trunk. If she was in my trunk, what's she doing in this nice, well-lit hospital?
Right? That's not where I left her. Yeah.
All of Trump's argument is when they pulled me over, they had no right to search the trunk just because they thought they heard thumping. Now they have no right to listen to the person who was thumping in the trunk. And I never saw that person in the first place. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
You made a lot of great points on the Twitters. 33 boxes items, several docs found inside Trump's desk after the subpoena. I'm starting to realize why a lot of the Trump defenders are so quiet all of a sudden.
Right.
You said twice as many secret docs were found after Trump's team asserted there were no more classified materials they never thought anyone would check. Isn't that amazing?
So for those of you that don't speak Trump, no crimes means double crimes. None means double. Anything he says there's none of, there's double that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you said the government
So
made the case that
stupid.
waiting 2 weeks to file an emergency injunction hardly shows that you think it's an emergency. They rubbed
Right.
salt in the wound by reminding the court and Trump that Michael Cohen filed his immediately. We just had Michael Cohen on.
Yeah.
The Cohen jab was fantastic.
Yes. He was the same. Literally, Cohen filed it the same day. They told him to go pound sand, and then he filed an injunction within 24 hours. Trump was like, 2 weeks pass, and he one of his like crap lawyers dives for the phone. Mr. President, I've got a great idea. Like, come on. Who are these
And then
idiots?
you said Trump's lie
Don't
about
get me wrong, I love it.
You said Trump's lie about executive privilege gets bounced because Mr. Stable Genius waited too long to concoct that lie as a defense and went months without bringing it up. And then, as I was saying, in this latest file, there's nothing, now the magical declassification wand, there's nothing about that anywhere, right?
No. This is
And
my
also,
stuff.
in the special master filing, he admits that you would need a special clearance to see this stuff, which means it's still classified.
Right, exactly. And they handled it. I mentioned it as well. That when they first turned over, what they said was the last of the stuff that they had found in the 2 weeks from the service of the subpoena to when they came back. They asked for a delay. Why the delay? Also, honestly, and all of this, it's the same thing. Like, just take it. Bring back the stuff that I'm allowed to have, cycle it through. I want to keep this stuff.
Right.
Those are my notes. I want them in my library, whatever that is. Let them have it. I don't understand any of, I need these things. They're never going to give them back to me. Unless, of course, you think you're going to jail, I suppose. And you need to, like, ransom them like OJ's sports gear for bail money. I don't know.
That's
Maybe.
going to be, I was just saying yesterday, this is like watching the slow speed chase in the Bronco for those of
Right.
us in LA, right? Forever.
It's a little bit-
And
it's a
now
little
that's
bit
what's going to
closer.
happen next is he's going to try to steal him back like OJ. Like after.
That's right. I mean, it's almost like he's following OJ's lead in so many ways. But just take the stuff. But ultimately, they gave an envelope that was wrapped in red tape, like do not open. If it fell off out of a transport, it would land in the water and float, so that like they could find it again. So it's not just out in the world. And if they knew that was dangerous to get out, and they knew to put it in a classified seal, how is that different from anything else that they had? It isn't. If he magically declassified all of it, and some of it's still classified, that's garbage.
Yeah.
He can't do that. It's just amazingly stupid.
Yeah.
Like, all of this, the worst, and it's not going to work. It is not going to work.
And
This is not the New York real estate market.
Yeah, I loved your tweet. This might be my favorite part, where the government attorneys remind the court that Trump's executive powers ended with his presidency. Ouch. He's
Right.
like Wile E. Coyote, like suspended off the cliff. No, I still have the super power.
And they hand him a book on gravity.
Yeah.
No. I still
like
have
flips
anti-gravity
through it.
powers.
Right.
Oops.
I have to say, like, this is, Trump has always had a habit of letting sort of his followers or the publicity around something or the messiness of something protect him, because, like the New York real estate market, nobody wants to pull the thread on his low-level corruption because it's all tied together and it's bad for the economy of New York. So they just kind of, all right, we'll get it if somebody really gets out of line, we'll go after him.
Right.
But this is not the case with top secret files on this level. It's not even close.
So, predictions, which you're good at. 2 lawyers for Trump likely to become witnesses or targets now into the investigation and into the classified documents. They have because they claimed all sensitive materials have been returned. Legal specialists said they are potentially witnesses, if not defendants. So this would be Christina Bobb, and who's the other one? Corcoran? Is that? Yes. Yes, and Hamana. And her co-counsel, Dr. Furrier, or Dr. Hafar. Right.
And Ann Melmahay, attorney at law.
So Bob,
Dr. Furrier, it's off hard.
Ms. Bobb, is that who you are, what you do?
Hey.
Said she, based on the information that has been provided to me, all documents responsive to the subpoena were being returned after a diligent search. So they found twice as many, as we said, documents after that. So is she going to, what's going to happen? Is she going to throw him under the bus, or is she going to
First of all, like I said, I think that's Kash Patel, because it was the custodian who signed it.
Okay.
I think they're all going to hide behind, at best of my knowledge. The problem that they have, according to the 60 days of footage that the government got from the security cameras, which I guess nobody thought to check before they handed it over. It shows that they removed boxes from the room, from the storage room, and either they or someone told the government that this happened.
Yeah.
Someone within Trump's circle, that they removed boxes, then did the diligent search of the boxes in the room, then put the boxes back in, then signed a piece of paper saying, I did a diligent search of the boxes in the room, and no top secret stuff was in there. So they took out the boxes they knew contained stuff, that they didn't want to return.
Yeah.
And they searched boxes they knew were basically empty, and then lied to the government through omission by saying we searched all the boxes in the room without admitting that they had removed boxes from the room before the search.
There you go. Very clever. Okay, here is Steve Doocy.
Genius. And then they handed over tape of them doing it.
Yeah.
Yes. Steve Doocy, Democracy Warrior.
What?
What's happening
yeah.
at Fox
This is
News?
him with Kristi Noem.
What is happening? Okay.
Well, ultimately, it comes down to why did he have all that secret stuff at mar-a-lago? I know his team has said that they declassified it, but that's news to the agencies that those documents belong to. And Governor, he had apparently 3 classified documents in his desk. And then the stuff, as Brian detailed on the floor, it shows 5 yellow folders marked top secret, and another one that says secret SCI, which means sensitive compartmentalized information. Those are the biggest secrets in the world.
Yikes.
Why would he, and apparently the former president went through them in January, why wouldn't he say, oh, you know what? I really need to turn that back over. Why did he have all that stuff at Mar-a-Lago?
Yeah, I feel like Kristi Noem immediately had to go get Botox before her next St. Jude's commercial with Herschel Walker.
Yeah,
because she was getting, you could tell she was furrowing. She's like, am I getting a hard, on Fox News, I'm getting a hard question.
From Juicy?
Here's what everybody needs to bring up every time. And the funny thing is Glenn Beck thinks this is a slam dunk somehow and protects the former president somehow. Trump had a declassification memo about some of the stuff from Crossfire Hurricane. And they've been using this as like, see, he declassified anything to do with Russiagate, blah, 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 and that's all this stuff was. Or it was related to it and he has the right to do whatever he wants. Okay, if he can magically declassify stuff, then why did he bother to file this other thing that he spent 2 months declassifying a single binder, and not even the entirety of the binder of Crossfire Hurricane stuff that apparently he declassified, which, by the way, you don't take with you. It's available under a FOIA request if it's honored. Secondly, there are things in it, when you declassify it, you hand it over, you go, make sure there are no names of people or sources and methods in there to keep people from getting murdered, because this was an international investigation involving spies and sources overseas. So if he knows how to do it once, he knows how to do it for everything else. And the fact that he did it once and didn't do it for the other stuff makes those items distinctly, legally different
Hal
from
Sparks
each other.
for the prosecution, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Damn, he's good.
Crack.
He's
Guilty.
hot. And he's hot. And he's
Guilty.
funny. And sexyliberal.com is where you get more of that.